German Konjunktiv 1. In today's video I will show you when to use Konjunktiv 1, how to create Konjunktiv 1, and I will also show you which 2 or 3 professions actually do need Konjunktiv 1 in their day-to-day life. Hi, my name is Jan. I'm your German teacher here on EasyDeutsch, your YouTube channel for German grammar. Today's topic is Konjunktiv 1. And with the help of my ebook, German Grammar Explained Easily, I will show you everything you have to know. So let's switch into my ebook.
So we're here now in my ebook, German Grammar Explained Easily. Today's topic is Konjunktiv 1. So English translation of this is Subjunctive 1, but there is nothing really comparable to this in English. That's why I will stick to the German word Konjunktiv 1 just to not confuse you. So we're here. And konjunktiv, if you haven't heard of it yet, is a special form of the verb, or also known as a special mode of the verb. And if you see there's a 1, yes, there's also a 2 of it. And 2 is actually the much more common one. So if you just Google konjunktiv, it's probably not that video you want to watch. It's probably the other one. Konjunktiv 1, you only check if you really want to know that one specifically. It's B1 or above a topic. So just to let you know right from the beginning that you're at the right video. I have a Konjunktiv 2 video for you too that I will link in the info cards here in the upper right corner for you. But now Konjunktiv 1. Here, Konjunktiv 1, we show that somebody said something. So that means we use it for indirect speech. What is indirect speech? So let's have a comparison here in case you don't know what's indirect speech. That's direct speech. Der Lehrer sagt, Deutsch ist nicht schwer. So the teacher says, German isn't hard, isn't difficult. Indirect speech, der Schüler sagt zu einem Freund, mein Lehrer sagt, Deutsch sei nicht schwer. So the student tells a friend, my teacher says that German isn't hard. So that's an indirect speech. So the speaker is the teacher, but the student is reporting what the teacher said. So I think you can also call it reported speech or something like that. In English, it's if you report what somebody else said. But we also use it for some specific expressions like Hoch lebe das Geburtstagskind, so word by word, high live the birthday kid. So it's just an expression that you say on somebody's birthday. Gott sei Dank, thank God. Es lebe die Freiheit. Let's cheer to freedom, something like that. Lebewohl is goodbye forever. So there, it's the goodbye, you know already, tschüss or whatever. But Lebewohl really means I'm saying goodbye forever. So never ever see you again. That's the intention of Lebewohl. And that's also the verb leben in its Konjunktiv 1 version. So let's have a look at the construction of the Konjunktiv 1. How do we form it? Well, in most cases, you will only need the verb sein in Konjunktiv 1. So sein, yes, it's irregular again, at least kind of, not too much to be honest. I recommend you to memorize that. The rule here is no ending, so that means no n. We drop the n in first and third person singular, and everywhere else we add the present ending and add an e here. There is an e here, we take away the n, add an e. There we take away the n and add an et because the regular present ending is t. Remember here? and that's why et. And here again, here in Konjunktiv 1, we keep the base of the verb sein. We don't change it. Any other conjugation of sein, present, past, we have to change that, not in Konjunktiv 1. So it just stays like that, we drop the n. If that sounded too complicated for you, you couldn't follow, just memorize those, because those are the ones that you need most of the time. And for all other verbs, we usually only use them in the third person singular, and there it's quite easy, you drop the n. Like the same here, you drop the n, you do the exact same thing with all other verbs. So leben is sie es lebe, haben sie es habe. And in second person, so singular, plural, du or ihr, it's very rare that you actually use the Konjunktiv 1, Konjunktiv 1, but you do it by simply adding an e before the present tense ending. So bringen, du bringest, oder ihr bringet. So it's it's st ending or t, and you add an e in front of it, and you do not change the base. So it's du bringst normally, and now it's bringest, oder ihr bringt, and now it's bringet. Gehen, du gehest, ihr gehet. Same thing, it's usually gehst or geht, and we add an extra e to make it Konjunktiv 1. But it's used if you want to sound very highly educated, but in day-to-day life, if it's not some scientific speech, scientific community, you will be perceived as a snob if you do use those versions. So I recommend you understand it if somebody actually uses it, but use this version. If you want to do it like a German, we replace that simply with Konjunktiv 2. So usually with the Würde version or the real Konjunktiv 2 version. That's grammatically not 100%, but that's how most Germans do it. Konjunktiv 1 is usually used if you work either in a hospital or it's something that's connected to a current, where you usually have to repeat what somebody else said. So if you have to report what other people said, if you're a witness of something, that's usually the case if you're a nurse or a doctor, or if you're working as a judge or as an attorney, for example. If you don't do that, you will barely encounter Konjunktiv 1 in the regular day-to-day life. So whatever it is, I recommend you just do it like the Germans. Many Germans don't use Konjunktiv 1. We replace it simply by Konjunktiv 2. If you haven't checked it out yet, there is a video in the info cards about Konjunktiv 2 for you. And I gave you that one already. At the end, short introduction. Which tenses can you actually use in Konjunktiv 1? Because you can't use all tenses in Konjunktiv 1. From the simple use of it, you can only use present, perfect, and future 1 in Konjunktiv 1. In presence is sage, fahre, so we drop the n. If it's in the past tense, there is no preteritum, it's only the perfect. We do that with the auxiliary verb, so there again the same thing. We drop the n, and the rest stays the way it is. And if it's the future, we do it the same way. The future is created. We just drop the n and the auxiliary verb werden here. We use those to create the tense, so that's what's get the conjugation, the change, and that's where we drop the n. And none of the other tenses is possible in Konjunktiv 1.
Now you know everything you have to know about the German Konjunktiv 1. If you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to write them in the comment section below. If you want to support me, my website, my YouTube channel, it's always a great support if you share my video with your friends, but of course also if you like my video and if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you also like the ebook that you've just seen in my video, you can actually buy this ebook alone or together with its friends. I published more than 10 ebooks by now. The link to those ebooks you will find in the video description below. And then I hope I will see you again in one of my other German lessons. And until then, viel Spaß und Erfolg beim Deutschlernen.